Welcome to the Film Florida podcast. I'm John Lux, and I'm the Executive Director of Film Florida. Before we get to our interview, please remember to subscribe, rate, and review the Film Florida podcast. If you're not already a member of Film Florida, please consider joining at filmflorida.org. If you like what you hear on the podcast, please consider going to our website and donating $20.22 for our 2022 fundraising campaign. We also have a Film Florida merchandise page. Visit filmflorida.creator-spring.com to purchase Film Florida t-shirts, sweatshirts, coffee mugs, and more. Breion Moses is the founder of Hillz Productions, the visionary behind the ReelBack Film Summit, the CEO of Hillz Productions Foundation, and a Film Florida member. Hillz Productions is a full-service production company that prides itself on employing quality people and producing quality projects. The ReelBack is the first film summit that focuses specifically on HBCU graduates and students. Breion holds a master's degree in public administration from Nova Southeastern University and a bachelor's degree in political science from Florida A&M University. She's also certified to help veterans to civilian society. Here's my conversation with Breion Moses. Welcome to the Film Florida podcast, Breion.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So I usually like to start our interviews with our guest's backstory. So help our audience get to know you a little bit.
Well, I am a native of South Florida. I'm a proud graduate of Florida A&M University, majoring in political science, minor in pre-law, and a graduate of Nova Southeastern University with my master's in public administration. I founded Hillz Productions, LLC, as well as our nonprofit arm, which is Hillz Productions Foundations, which we support students at historically Black colleges and universities. We give them scholarships to help them produce their projects. In addition to that, we give scholarships towards their educational needs. And our film summit is the ReelBack Film Summit, which that is a part of our nonprofit arm. That platforms allow students, current students at HBCUs, which is historically Black colleges and universities, gives them a platform to check out what entertainment is like. So if they're interested in being an actor, actress, producer, a director, working in entertainment in any capacity, that is the film summit for you to attend. We hosted that film summit back in 2019. It was our inaugural event on the beautiful campus of Florida A&M University. Shout out to Danielle Marshall and Nikki, our film commissioner, because they supported the event. They came out. Nikki actually spoke as the film commissioner of Florida. So thank you all. It was a great event.
And now, Breion, when I look at your degrees, they don't necessarily scream film industry. So how did you find yourself from political science and public administration to the film and production industry?
Great question. So I've been in entertainment since a young child. I remember watching, I was in my parents' den and we were watching a program on TV. And I was sitting in amazement. And I remember both of my parents saying, hey, you can be that same beautiful face on TV. So I'm looking like, okay, so what do I do? So literally the next week, my mom found an agent. And I went and took headshots and everything. I was booking music videos and commercials and everything. So I've been in front of the screen for years. And then I decided, I want to go to college. And from college, everything that I've manifest as a young child is now what you all see. So my college degrees are just my backup plans. You can't be in an educated family. Both of my parents, college graduates. I could not tell them I'm going to go and pursue this and not, go to school. So they have always taught me to have a backup plan.
Excellent. Okay. So it's interesting that college degrees are the backup plan, but the entertainment side of things is really the primary. That's great. And so you're involved in a lot of different aspects of the industry, and you mentioned the three that I really want to focus on. So first, your company, Seven Hills Productions. Tell us about the kind of the origin of that and the mission and the goals of the company.
So Seven Hills Productions is just what it is. We had to climb a lot of hills, and seven being a biblical number.
Okay.
So for me, I created the name of it. It just came to me. I was driving home one day and I'm like, what am I going to name this company? So I'm just going. And I was like, there it is, Seven Hills Productions. So I'm like, okay, this is where we're going with this. So when I created the company, and still, our mission today is giving a platform to continue to discuss spaces for women, to continue our mission as, being able to talk about what it is that we're interested in, and being able to champion our voices. That is the mission of the production company. So I've been doing a lot of stuff on the production side. Right now we have partnerships coming up with historically Black colleges and universities. That students are coming to intern not just with the production side, but with the nonprofit side.
Hmm.
So it is a lot of great things that are going on, within my, circle of businesses. And I'm just so excited to continue to move and give voices to spaces for women.
And now you mentioned the foundation. Where did that all come from? What made you decide to create a foundation, and what are the specific goals of the foundation?
So the nonprofit came to me in a dream. Literally, I was asleep. I was awakened by a soft voice that was telling me that I needed to do more.
Okay.
And so, with that needing to do more, God has paved a way for me to be able to continue doing things on the nonprofit side. Our mission is to focus with students at HBCUs to give them a platform and give them resources that they may not necessarily have on their campus. And I'm not saying that for all, HBCUs, but, for the ones that I've interacted with and students that I've interacted with, they've told me that with our nonprofit and having the film summit, it has given them the opportunity to network and connect with individuals that they may necessarily have never met, or it's hard to get in contact with. So we've given them the opportunity for face-to-face, internships, mentorships, things along that line.
So, Breion, a few years ago, you mentioned that you created the Film Summit, and like so many other things, the summit's been disrupted by the pandemic. But tell us why you created the summit. You mentioned it a little bit, but I want you to go a little bit further in depth. Why you originally created the summit, and now as we're coming, getting back to a little bit more normalcy in our life with the pandemic. Tell us what the future is for it.
So we created the Film Summit to give students the platform to showcase their projects. The platform also gives students the opportunity to understand the business side of entertainment. Some people don't. They only know what goes into being sometimes in front of the camera. What does it take to be a producer, director on the business side? I am a huge believer in owning your content, as well as being the best you that you can be. Sometimes it's hard to get in other film festivals. This opportunity with our Film Summit is geared towards students specifically, but also alumni of historically Black colleges and universities. Although with COVID, we have been able to still do things, behind the scene. We just closed down our scholarship portion. Students will be notified soon. We're gearing up for the next one that's upcoming. And we've also been working with students, interning behind the scenes. We've had speaker series, a lot of different things geared towards students. We've posted numerous of things that we've been working on. So It has disrupted in person, but it hasn't disrupted our mission and our goals. So our future for the nonprofit is to be able to have the film summit, hopefully, or have some aspects of it where it'll be probably hybrid, or even if we do something virtual, but still giving students the opportunity to showcase their projects, giving them the opportunity to get a mentor and scholarships. We had a lot of scholarship applicants. Like, I was overwhelmed, like, oh my gosh, and it was insane. I was like, oh my God, like, how do we narrow this down? So my board members, we narrowed it down. And so we said, well, what can we do more? So we increased the scholarship amount, and students are happy with that. We started out with one scholarship recipient when we first hosted the ReelBack Film Summit. That scholarship recipient used the funds to benefit her project, which is now streaming on Beats by Apple. From there, the following year, 2020, we went from one recipient to three recipients. And one of the three recipients, he also too has his project streaming with Apple and Beats.
Wow.
So we've been, 2 for 2 with our students, helping them transform their projects and having financial backing to, really help them. We have our recipients from this previous year scholarship close out, at the end of the year. So, we're going to announce that soon. So now we're gearing up now for this current year, 2022. So I'm excited for that.
Excellent. And now you've talked a lot about the historical Black colleges and universities, the HBCUs. For those that aren't as familiar with that group of colleges and universities, explain what that is.
So historically, Black colleges and universities are universities for African Americans. They were created for African Americans. During that time when you had, slavery, Jim Crow, Blacks were not able to be educated or even attend the university. So we can go back in the history of America and look at how we've been treated. So creating a space at a HBCU it was primarily for Blacks to become educated. There are over 100 HBCUs. Florida has a lot. I'm a graduate of Florida A&M University, located in Tallahassee, Florida. I love being a graduate of an HBCU because throughout school, from elementary through high school, I can count on one hand how many Black teachers I had. So going to an HBCU, I was able to connect with more of my peers and being able not stand out, like being one Black in a classroom. So FAMU and every other HBCU afforded students like me the opportunity to become educated and connect with people that we, have a connection with, and for folks to really understand, our struggles. That's my take on a HBCU. But I would definitely encourage the listeners to explore HBCUs, get familiarized with them, be an ally, connect with them, donate to them, because the resources on some are very limited than others. So I would definitely encourage you to do that.
So let me try and connect some dots here, because obviously this is a really important topic for you. So you said you were, from a young age, you were interested in the entertainment industry and, the production side of things. When you're originally, contemplating Seven Hillz Productions, did you immediately make that connection between what you were trying to do and the HBCUs? Was that all part of the package the entire time, or did you go into it trying to build a successful production company and then saying, oh, wait a second here, now I want to make this connection? Or was that always the plan?
That was always the plan. When I told you the voice came to me, all of that was in a plan. It was like God was speaking to me in my sleep, like it was a dream. So everything came in full circle, and he's allowed doors to open, connections with, other Fortune 500 companies. I was literally on a call earlier today with a huge production company and an entertainment company. We were all on the line together. They're interested in doing more things with our nonprofit because they heard about what we're doing.
Hmm.
Um, they heard about it through, social media. So they've reached out, and the board members and everything, we were talking. And so, it's always a great thing to partner and connect with other organizations.
Sure.
So, but to answer your question, that was always in the plan.
Excellent. And which I suspected. I just wanted to double check. There's been a lot of talk in the entertainment industry in the last few years regarding the level of diversity overall in the industry. Is progress being made, and how do we measure that progress specifically?
It's not a cookie cutter way to really answer that question
Okay.
because depending on who you ask, some may argue, yes, progress is being made. Others may argue no. So, I would say we still have a long way to go. I'll say that we still have
Right.
a very long way to go. I do see where some people are trying to put forth the effort and the stride to make things right. But I also see and read where people are talking, saying, this is what we're doing, this is what we're going to do. But when you go look at what progress they've made, nothing has been done.
Okay.
So, it's not a yes or no, a cookie cutter answer, but depending on who you speak with, I must say that, we're starting to see a little bit more diversity because the nonprofit, we stand with diversity.
Hmm.
That's a part of our core value. Well, one of our core values, but we still have a long way to go. I'll say that.
Yeah, I mean, I remember a couple of years ago when the Academy Awards were raked over the coals for the lack of diversity in their nominees and obviously their winners. And I thought to myself, well, it's a valid concern, but I'm not sure that's the only benchmark that we can use in the industry. Obviously, the industry is much deeper than the 50 people that are nominated for the highest of the high awards, and obviously we need to get those people up there, but it goes deeper than that. So if people are listening and say like, okay, I agree, this is a really important issue, but I'm just one person, I'm just a crew member or a cast member on a smaller projects. What should they be doing? How can people make an individual difference?
If they have a voice or seat at the table, bring in more people that does not necessarily look like you. Talk to friends and just people in general to kind of engage and get a better understanding. Because again, you're one voice speaking for a race of people that maybe you may not know much about, but you have an
Hmm.
idea. It's all about communicating and really understanding, asking yourself, okay, well, what are my strengths? And based off my strengths, what can I do? Because sometimes, people jump out there, not necessarily know what to do or how to do. And they don't, it's like you're jumping out, spreading a wide net and you're catching nothing. First, look within what you can offer. And if there's a place where you feel that you're lacking or it's lacking something, start talking to organizations, talk to different people that their mission aligns with what you're trying to do. There are a lot of different things that can be done. We know that a lot of actors, crew members are not being paid properly.
Hmm.
You can start with, upping their pay. Actually ask yourself, how can I be an ally? How can we work together? Because we're great at pushing numbers for different views or even our own personal views of certain things, but really put yourself in uncomfortable situations to really understand another race, another culture. Because I know I do it all the time. So I can have a better gauge, on the subject or whatever is at hand at that present moment. So I don't speak blindly and ignorant. So it's all about research and communicating and figuring out what are my strengths. Based off my strengths, how can I add value? And whatever I'm lacking in, how can I bring people in to help me with my weaknesses and help overturn them, and those weaknesses become strengths.
Excellent. And I mean, as an organization, Film Florida, we addressed this, about a year or two ago, and it was difficult for me because who wants to listen to the white guy lecture people about diversity in the industry? Like, I don't have a credible voice there. And so, that's why from, different initiatives like our podcast, like having folks like you on, and a few episodes ago, we had a representative from Ava DuVernay's organization, Array, to talk about everything they're doing. And I think that's where we kind of found the best thing that we can do as an organization is give the people that do have the authority on the topic a voice and be able to help them get that message out there. And we did the same thing with our professional development series, Film Florida Fridays, where we devoted a couple of episodes to some really great, Black filmmakers and let them tell their stories. Because again, I can't tell that story. So the best way to do it is give people the platform to tell those stories and get that information out there.
Right. I would agree with you totally. And that's what we do with, the Film Summit, give the students the platform to continue to push their mission and their projects. So I would agree with you 100% on that.
You're a member and you see our stuff. So I'm relying on you to step up and kind of slap me upside the head if we're not doing something right, or if we.
Well, I will send you an email or call you on your phone and say, hey, what is happening over there?
Excellent. Good. So we've talked about all the different initiatives and all the different organizations that you're involved in. Where can people go to learn more about everything that you have going on?
You all can visit us on our website, which is 7SEVEN Hillz, HILLZ.com. And you can learn more about Seven Hillz, the nonprofit. If you read at the very top, there's a tab that will take you to another page that will discuss our nonprofit. It'll also discuss the initiatives that we have, our core values. It'll tell you about the scholarship, which is actually named after my father, my late father, Benjamin Moses Jr. He was a driving force behind the production, but unfortunately, he wasn't able to see everything unfold, but he had an idea. He was there in the early stages with helping me and doing a lot of stuff and just telling me that he is extremely proud of me and excited, for what is to come. So I decided, the first scholarship, I'm going to name it after him in his honor. And we've given away over $3,000 with just a scholarship that started back in 2019.
Yeah, great. That's a great story. And how about social media pages?
Oh, social media, they can visit us on Facebook. It's Seven Hillz Productions on Facebook. And then on our Instagram, it is 7SEVEN Hillz, HILLZ Productions with an S. That is the LLC. And the nonprofit, they can visit us at Seven Hillz, and everything is spelled out, Seven Hillz Foundation. And the ReelBack Film Summit is at Reel, ReelBack Film Summit.
Well, Breion, I know how busy you are. We talked a little bit before we started recording about everything you have going on. I really appreciate you taking some time with us today. And thanks for everything that you're doing to help our industry.
Thank you for having me. And if anyone wants to, I've been getting a lot of requests from people asking me to connect with them on LinkedIn. So you can find me on LinkedIn. It's linkedin.com/Breion Moses MPA. So M is in Masters, P is in Public Administration. That is me on LinkedIn. So I'll be more than happy to, connect with you all there. And if you want to send me an email, you can do that. You can send me you go directly to our website. You will be able to click directly on the website, the email tab, and send me a message. Well, not necessarily me, but you'll be able to send a message and they'll forward it over to me, because I've been telling everybody, listen, I don't care how small or how boring you think the email is. It is important that people are able to get in contact with me. And that's what I love. Some people say, wow, why are you so friendly, to everyone? We all had to start somewhere.
Hmm.
So just because your name is not as big or big enough, people may not know you. It is okay. It's one day or someday you will get to be this big name that you aspire to be. So, with that being said, email me if you have any questions. I've had students reach out to me, sent messages on my personal social media. I'm like, how the heck did you guys find this? Because I rarely check my personal social media. But it was interesting, but they send messages like on Facebook and stuff like that. So the messages, everyone reroutes them to me, saying like, hey, Breion, this person is interested in wanting to speak with you or know, more. So we're going to forward this over to you. And I'll reply back. I do when I get time.
Well, thanks for all of that. And thanks again, Breion, for being on the Film Florida podcast with us.
Well, thank you all for having me. And I would love to come back with whatever upcoming you all do. So just keep me posted. I am happy to be a member.
We absolutely will. And we will keep you in the loop on everything we have going on. Thanks.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Film Florida podcast. For more information about Film Florida, go to filmflorida.org or visit our social media pages on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. If you're not already a member of Film Florida, please consider joining at filmflorida.org. If you like what you hear on the podcast, please consider going to our website and donating $20.22 for our 2022 fundraising campaign. Check out the Film Florida merchandise at filmflorida.creator-spring.com. And please remember to subscribe, rate, and review the podcast.